In this video, I'm reviewing the Gourmia Dual Basket Air Fryer with Smart Finish feature, so let's get started. The Gourmia Dual Basket Air Fryer comes with two 5-quarter baskets, and inside you'll find the crisper tray with 4 silicone tabs. These need to stay on, but they can be removed when cleaning the crisper tray. You will want to remove them so that you can clean underneath and also around the edges, because this is where you'll find a lot of grease buildup. But just remember to add them back on so that the sides of the tray don't scratch the inside of the basket. And if you're having trouble inserting the crisper tray in, just angle it on its side and it should slide in very easily. And the same when taking it out, just angle it sideways and lift it out. Before using the air fryer, you'll want to give it a good wipe down. I'm going to flip it over so that it's easier to wipe the heating elements. And if I just show you here how much dirt and residue has come off here, this will also help get rid of some of that smell that you get from using it for the first time. Be sure to wipe down the exterior of the unit and wash out the baskets and trays. And then I'm going to run the empty air fryer to help get rid of the plastic smell. Zone 1 will flash, so select air fryer mode. If your temperature is displayed in Celsius, you can press and hold the time and temperature button until it changes to Fahrenheit. So I'm going to set 400 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 20 minutes. And then I want zone 2 to run exactly the same. So I'm going to select the match cook button, and that will set the same time and temperature. We don't need the preheat button and we don't need the turn reminder, so we can turn those off and then press start. So both zone 1 and zone 2 will run simultaneously. Once the cycle is ended, you can leave the baskets open to air out all of that smell. This definitely helps as well. Or if you need to, you may want to run it empty again. When you're cooking food in the baskets at different times and temperatures, you can select the Smart Finish feature, and this will sync both the baskets so that both of them finish cooking at the same time. But even though you have the Smart Finish button selected, sometimes I find I do need to adjust the temperature or the time by a couple of minutes so that they both still finish at the same time. So if I can show you very quickly here, if I have zone 1 currently set to 5 minutes and zone 2 is currently set to 2 minutes. Zone 2 will be put on hold because it has a shorter cook time. Zone 1 will start cooking. Now if I decided to change zone 2, press the zone 2 button and then press the time and temperature button. I'm going to increase the time to 7 minutes. So now zone 1 has the shorter time, so that is now on hold, and zone 2 will start cooking. And similarly, press zone 1 if I want to change the time. Press the time and temperature button and then adjust either the temperature or the time. Let's increase it now to 10 minutes, and now zone 2 will go on hold because that has now the shorter time. However, if you decided that you wanted both baskets to finish at the same time, then just press the stop button once and press the match cook button, and both zone 1 and 2 will run with the same time remaining. So the first thing I'm going to cook are some T-bone steaks, which I will marinate overnight first. And when I'm ready to cook, I'll select Smart Finish. In zone 1 or basket 1, I'm going to select air fryer mode, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, change the time to 25 minutes. Moving over to zone 2 for my veggies, I need to press the zone 2 button to enable it, then press the roast function, and I'm going to change the time to 20 minutes. And I'm going to lower the temperature down to 390 degrees Fahrenheit because I find that veggies cook much better at a slightly lower temperature without them burning too fast. And then I'm going to leave the preheat and the turn reminder on and press start. So you can see that zone 1 has started preheating, but zone 2 is on hold because it has a shorter cook time. So while that is preheating, I'm going to season my potatoes and carrots. I'll leave the full recipes in the description box for you. Okay, basket 1 is ready to add food. So place the steaks in, and I can fit 2 in nicely, like so. And when it's ready, zone 2 will begin preheating and the add food sign will show based on the smart finish feature, so that both baskets will finish cooking at the same time. But I'm only going to start with the potatoes first because the carrots will cook faster, so I'll add them a little later. And once they're in, the display will show both zones with the same cooking time remaining. So to make my steaks nice and juicy, I'm going to add some butter just on top after the first 5 to 7 minutes of cooking. I still have some marinade left over in the bowl here with the carrots. So after about 5 to 6 minutes of cooking the potatoes, I'm going to take them back out and coat them again with the same seasoning. This will make the potatoes more crispy and so much more tastier. Okay, the steaks are now ready to turn over, and just take a look at that beautiful color. Now it's time for the veggies to be turned over, and you can just hear the sizzle from the potatoes. They look amazing and they have a beautiful color on them. So the second side of the steaks have been cooking for at least 5 minutes or so. So I'm gonna add some more butter to this side as well. I'm just going to check on the veggies and give them another shake. I always like to keep an eye out on them in the last few minutes to make sure that they don't burn. And since I have them on the smart finish, they're both going to end at the same time. I'm going to take out the steaks first and just look at that beautiful golden brown color, and they look so juicy, and that's because of the butter as well. You can add as little or as much as you want, but trust me, it makes a huge difference. And I'm just going to add a little bit more butter on top as well while they're resting. And be sure to let them rest for at least 5 minutes before cutting into them. While they are resting, I'm going to take out the veggies and look at that beautiful. They look so good. I'm just going to sprinkle on a little bit of dried parsley flakes here just for presentation. And just look at those. Look at the carrots and the potatoes. They came out so crispy and the color is just so gorgeous. Look at the edges on those potatoes. Do you see that? And if I just slice through it to show you how soft and fluffy they are on the inside. Beautiful. So I like my steak well done, and the knife just slices through it. You can cook it for less time if you want it less well done, but it may stay a little bit tough, perhaps a little chewy. But for me, this is absolutely perfect. You can see just how juicy it is. Another reason I love the dual basket air fryer is obviously the different variety of foods I can cook at the same time. I'm going to preheat basket 1 for 10 minutes at 390 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll select the smart finish function. And in basket 2, first I'm going to remove the crisper tray before I preheat it for 15 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And I will leave the turn reminder on. Basket 1 has a shorter cooking time, so that will stay on hold while basket 2 has started preheating. And when it's ready, I'm going to add some cauliflower rice directly in the basket, just in a thin layer. Basket 1 is now ready to add food, and I'm going to lightly grease the tray and then add some chicken to this, which I've cut into smaller pieces and marinated for a few hours. And then every 5 minutes or so, I'm going to keep stirring the cauliflower. And in case you are wondering, I do have some bell peppers mixed in with the cauliflower rice. I'll leave the recipe in the description box. And both the baskets should be done at the same time, and I'll just show you. We have the cooked chicken and also the cauliflower rice. This is just another simple and quick recipe that I wanted to show you guys that you can do in the air fryer. Air fryer donuts are also so easy and quick to make in the air fryer. I don't have an actual donut cutter, but that's not going to stop me. I'm just going to use a glass and something round just to make the circles. And what I like to do is remove the crisper tray and lightly grease the basket and place the donut rings in the basket to proof. I'll also brush on some melted butter so that they get a beautiful golden color when they're done. I find this method so much easier to do because I don't have to move them around once they've had time to rise, because that can ruin the shape, and then there's also a chance of knocking the air out of them and they won't be as fluffy on the inside. So as I'm using one basket to proof my dough, I can continue cooking in the other basket, and I'm going to use basket 1 to cook a pizza on air fryer mode at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 7 minutes. I'm going to turn off both the preheat and the turn reminder. I should also mention that I don't like to preheat the air fryer when I am cooking any bread items, because I find it cooks the outer much faster than it does the inside, and I just always get better cooking results when I don't preheat the air fryer. But only for bread items. I always do preheat my air fryer when I'm cooking meats for sure, because you want the outer part of the meats to be seared, if you will, and it kind of locks in all those juices just like you would do on a stove. So be sure to preheat when you're cooking meats, but anything with bread, pizza dough, anything, I never preheat my air fryer. These couple of scenes that I'm showing you are made in the 7/4 Gourmia that I had, and I will leave recipes in the description box if you guys wanted to use them. Now going back to the current dual air fryer, I always like to check in on the last minute or so, and here we have a perfectly cooked pizza. I should also mention that I did use a store-bought pizza base, which I've kept in the freezer. And this is a 7-inch pizza base that fits in perfectly into the 5/4 basket. And 7 minutes works out perfect for this. If I show you underneath, you can see the crust is also cooked perfectly. So going back to the basket where the donuts are proofing, and you can see how beautifully they have risen, and I've had them proofing in here for about an hour now. The basket is not warm at all. It is still cold. So if you are wondering whether the air circulates around the whole air fryer or just the half of the air fryer, the answer is it will only circulate in the basket that is being used. And when I am ready to start cooking, I will select air fryer mode, turn off the preheat. I'm going to do 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. Press start. I am going to leave the turn reminder on. And halfway through, look at these beautiful donuts. I'm just going to use the back end of my spatula here to flip them over and then pop them back in. So now the air fryer has had time to warm up, so the second side should cook a little faster than the first side. So I'm going to keep an eye on it in the last 2 to 3 minutes to make sure that they don't overcook. And I still have 1 minute and 32 seconds remaining, but like I said, the second side is going to cook faster, so they are ready to come out. So in total they took just over 8 minutes to cook. I'm going to brush on some more melted butter, and then I'm going to coat them with some sugar cinnamon mix that I have ready here. And look at that, they came out so soft, and just look at the color. Just look at the fluffiness inside this donut. It is so soft, you guys, and they tasted so good. And I just followed a donut recipe that I found online. There are so many recipes, but I will leave the recipe that I used in the description box. But again, they're so easy to make. And when I was looking to buy this, I did wonder whether I'd be able to fit in a whole chicken. And you can actually fit in a 1.5 kilo whole chicken into the 5/4 basket. And you can also fit in 2 large sized chicken breast pieces or 3 very small ones, making sure that there is enough space in there to circulate the air. There is a vent at the back of the air fryer here and also at the top, so make sure you kind of leave space on your counter for the air to circulate out. The only one thing I am sad about with this air fryer is that it doesn't have the cord storage like it did with the 7/4, but that's totally fine. It's not a deal breaker. Alright guys, I hope you found this video useful. Please feel free to share your own recipes, your own ideas that you have. And if you do have any questions or comments, please do leave them below. Don't forget to give this video a like, and I hope to catch you in my next video.